and welcome to HRS 5100 Introduction to Assistive Technology. I'm Carmen DiGiovine. I've been working with the Ohio State University Office of Distance Education and E-Learning and the School of Health and Rehabilitation Sciences to put together a group of courses. This first course, Introduction to Assistive Technology, HRS 5100, is the first of 4 courses in a series of courses that are part of the Assistive and Rehabilitative Technology Certificate Program. You can find more information about the ARTC program at go.osu.edu/ARTC. I thought I would start off today by providing you a little bit of background about myself. I always find it's helpful to find a little bit of information about the people that I work with and the instructors that I have that are going to be teaching me. So to start off with, I'm in the basement of my house. You can see the Illinois flag in the background. This is the only time the flag will be up in the video, but I thought since I'm talking about myself a little bit here, giving you a little bit of background, it would be appropriate to have the Illinois flag up and to have my University of Pittsburgh hat on. I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, Illinois, so I'm a huge Cubs fan, Chicago Cubs fan, and Chicago Bears fan, and really any kind of Chicago sports. Love going to downtown Chicago and love visiting my family that lives there or taking my family from here to downtown Chicago. I attended the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, hence the reason I have the Illinois flag up behind me. I also attended the University of Pittsburgh, where I got my master's degree and doctorate degree in bioengineering. From a work perspective, I consider myself a rehabilitation engineer because my focus has always been at the intersection of engineering and individuals with disabilities. To start off my career, I worked at the University of Illinois at Chicago. I worked at the Assistive Technology Unit, where I went out into the community and worked with physical therapists, occupational therapists, and speech-language pathologists, primarily working with individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. This was a great experience for me to see how people use technology out in the real world and has really informed the courses that I teach. I then went and started a company called 6 Degrees of Freedom. I was a consultant for both rehab hospitals that needed help developing assistive technology programs, and then I also worked in the primary school and secondary school arena, so the K through 12 arena, working with kids with disabilities and the technology that they use in the classroom. That was a great experience for me because I got to see how children use technology on a day-to-day basis. Personally, I've been married for 23 years. I have 2 daughters, one who's at high school at Olentangy High School, and one who is in college at the University of Pittsburgh. To balance out the women in my life, the 3 women in my life, we also have a dog. His name is Wrigley, and yes, his middle name is Field, so it goes back to that idea of sports is an important part of my life. Now about the course. There's a couple logistical things that I want you to know about the course, and then some more content-related information. First off, I'm really excited about this course because it really marries this idea of technology and individuals with disabilities. And there's so many areas, so much room for growth right now in this field, as assistive technology is exploding into the consumer electronics world and consumer technology world, and the two are coming together. For this course, there's two textbooks you can use, one of 2 textbooks you can use. The first one is the Essentials for Assistive Technologies, and I've been using that textbook for a number of years now. I found the textbook, the core components of that textbook are very useful and are great and still apply today. However, the technology that they reference in that textbook is a little bit old. So I just want to let you know that the other textbook that you can use is the Assistive Technology Principles and Practices, 5th edition. Same authors for both books, it's just this newer book has more content and more technology, and I'll be using it in the future for other courses within the Assistive and Rehabilitative Technology Certificate Program. You can use either one this semester, but I just wanted you to know that we'll be transitioning to the Assistive Technology Principles and Practices book in the future. I've been teaching online education for 3 semesters now, and I've really learned that the discussions, the announcements are critical to the success of this course. Specifically, they're critical for interaction between you and I. I'm happy to do Zoom calls. I like doing Zoom calls. I like doing phone calls. I feel like the discussions is where we can really have interaction. And I want you to go back to those discussion posts even after I respond to them or after other colleagues respond to them. Since we don't have that opportunity for one-on-one interaction in a classroom, the discussions allow us to have that one-on-one activity. So don't just post and then never go back. Post and go back and see what other people are posting and learn from each other. That will be key, especially during our video discussions or the video case study discussions. I respond fastest via Carmen Mail. I will check that every day. If you decide that you want to use regular email, then use your OSU email account. Don't use a Gmail account or Hotmail account or AOL account if we go way back in time, because it's easier for me to find if you find your email if you use your OSU email account. And also put 5100 in the subject line. Makes it easier for me to find. Finally, I just want to talk a little bit about the content of the course. We can't cover all areas of assistive technology in this course. So one of the things I like to do is I like to pull concepts and ideas that I see out in the literature or out in newspapers or out on Twitter or just out on the web, kind of leveraging social networks and leveraging the internet as we can. One of the things that I hope that you will do is that as you identify cool or emerging assistive technology, that you'll post that technology in our Q&A discussion board. That way people can get an opinion or get to see what is interesting to you, and we can all learn together about different types of technology that people with disabilities could potentially use in their everyday lives. So to get started, I'd just like to talk about an article that I read actually this morning in the IEEE Spectrum magazine. IEEE is an engineering magazine, and they were talking about a robotic arm that was developed in Canada. This robotic arm is designed to be attached to the person, and it's essentially a third hand that a person can use to perform a task. They designed it for industrial applications. However, I could also see it being used by an individual who's had a stroke. And if they had a stroke, maybe it's a stroke that only affects one side of their body. And so they could use this robotic arm to help them with activities while they use their other arm, their strong arm, in performing those activities. So those are the kinds of things that I want you to think about as you look at technology in the future, to see how could technology that's designed for one purpose be used by an individual with a disability. And what things would you need to think about in terms of the person, in terms of the activity they want to perform, and in terms of the context that they're performing it. Are they performing it at home, or at work, or at school, or out in the community? That is going to be it. What I just described right now is the HAT model, and that's going to be a theme throughout this course. So what I'll do is I'll add a link to the article that describes this robotic arm into the video notes so that you can go and look at it at some point. Once again, I'm really excited to teach this course this summer. It's going to be a fast-paced course because it's only 8 weeks, but it'll be a great course because we'll have a lot of interaction. There's a much smaller group that's in this course this semester than in prior semesters. It looks like we'll have about 10 to 15 students in this course, and in past semesters we've had 20 to 30. So that'll allow me to give you more feedback throughout the course and to have better interactions. As always, feel free to reach out to me. Like I said earlier, best way to reach out to me is via Carmen Mail. And we'll do some video chats later on in the course. I'll schedule some one-on-one time with everybody in the course. Thanks, and have a great start to your summer semester.